This video is intended for adult educational purposes only. I do not condone any illegal activities, and this was filmed for your entertainment. Now that we're starting week 1, and assuming you've opted for my basic setup, we've purchased all of our equipment, our seedlings have come in, it's time to start the germination process and show you exactly what I do to get my seedlings started. I am not going to be showing you how to set up your equipment. I assume that the manufacturers put out much nicer videos on how everything works, and it should be set up properly. I can't show you how to do it my way, I just do it the right way. What's up everybody, my name is Dustin and this is Growing Grams. I have been a cannabis cultivator for nearly a half decade, and in that time I have learned many tips and tricks to help get your grow started off the ground or help improve the quality of your harvest. In this series we're going to be going from seed to sesh, teaching all of the tips and tricks that I have learned over the years to get your plant started the strongest and healthiest way possible. For this first video, we are going to be starting off with a brand new seed pack that we have received from Neptune Seed Bank. We got selected to be one of their new genetic testers, so we figured why not document the process along the entire way, show each step, all of the products that I use, and what we are going to be doing to test these genetics out, find out if we have a winner, and yeah, let's get into this series. All right, next let's go over a full equipment list that we are going to be using to get the seedlings started off. We will have a pH and ppm meter with clean and calibration solution, some CalMag, Grow More Jumpstart for the tricontinol natural PGR, Clonex clone and seedling feeding solution, pH up and down, Great White mycorrhizae, still not sure how to say that. Gloves, a seedling tray plus dome. You will need 2 water bottles, one for alcohol or a cleaning solution and one for a nutrient or water spray. We will need containers for measuring out different amounts of water from milliliters, so it can be teaspoons, half teaspoons, things like that. Jiffy peat pellets, cotton pads, tweezers, plastic bags, Ziploc bags preferably, small 4-inch pots, and of course, fantastic genetics, a great seed pack to get started with. I'll give a full list with the description of each one of these items in the next screen so you can pause it, make sure that you have it checked off, and a link in the description below. Bloop. Oh, and you'll also need a cup of RO or distilled water, at least a half gallon. 1 liter will be enough to get started, but it is a little bit hard to mix up 1 liter at a time. Very first thing you want to make sure you do is sanitize and wipe down all of your work surfaces and equipment. Pew, pew,
I started blasting. Bang,
making sure that everything is going to be sterile before we get started with seedlings here. From here, we will test, clean, and calibrate our instruments using a high and low pH along with an EC or ppm conductivity standard. All pH and ppm meters are slightly different. Make sure you follow the handbook for the one that you have and you get it cleaned and calibrated in between each harvest. Cutting clones, starting new seedlings is a great time to take care of your equipment. From here, we are going to be taking 3 milliliters of CalMag per 1 gallon of water and mixing that up. It should come out to around 300 to 400 ppms of calcium magnesium if you're using a powdered form or a different brand. Generally, it's all going to be around 3 to 5 milliliters per gallon to reach that 3 to 500 ppms of calcium magnesium in the solution. Excuse me, 3 to 400. From here, we will be adding the Grow More Jumpstart Plant Tonic. This has barley meal and alfalfa meal, which are high in tricontinol. It's a natural PGR that'll help increase the cellular division, and I've had great success with this product. If you don't want to buy this, then using kelp is a phenomenal substitute, so seaweed kelp extract is going to be something very similar. And after 3 milliliters per 1 gallon of CalMag and 1 milliliter per 1 gallon of water of Grow More Jumpstart have been added into your water solution, it's time to make sure that it is pH'd, and you want to pH that down to 5.8 or 5.9, 6.0. 5.8 to 6.0 is going to be perfect. If you need to use a little bit of pH up or down, depending on how your water was when you started, make sure that you do so now. Let's go ahead and take 20 of these seeds here and go directly into the water with this. Bloop. All of them are going to start off floating, and over the course of 8 to 12 hours, they will begin sinking to the bottom of our container here. We will let those soak for 8 to 12 hours. And again, we're going to be running a new test genetic from Neptune Seed Bank. Neptune Farms has selected me to be one of their new testers to see if this is a strain worth keeping. And that's exciting to me. Shout out Neptune. Thanks. I'll be back here when the seeds are done soaking. We'll get them set into some cotton pads, get those soaked, put them into the paper towel or into the plastic bag, excuse me, and wait for those to be rooted. It should take anywhere between 18, 24, maybe 36 hours. We'll see how this strain does, but I'll be right back. In the meantime, we can get some things put away. We'll no longer be needing the jump start. We'll get that set off to the side. We will be using the Great White along with the cotton pads and tweezers coming up next, setting all of those inside of a plastic Ziploc bag. So having that set aside along with a spray bottle to make sure that we can get everything misted nicely at the end of it. We're going to be using the same solution that we put our seeds into to soak in order to spray things down lightly and help them get started. Keeping those things set off to the side is going to be the next step, and then the following day after we have rooted, we will be starting with the Clonex solution, our peat pellets, more RO water, and getting them ready to be transplanted into a dome. All right, and we are back 8 hours later. It's almost 2 in the morning. As you can see, most of these seeds have sank down to the bottom here, while the rest are floating on top. As long as the majority of them have started to sink, that's generally when I consider this to be a win. As you can see, we have our Great White mycorrhizae, still don't know, our water, cotton pads, gloves, seeds, nutrient solution, and we've taken some of the Seedling nutrient solution, we've added it into a water bottle. What we're going to do here with this is lightly spray each one of these cotton pads. Perfect. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this powder here. This stuff is, way too much. Damn. Gotta get better at this. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to take a little bit of mycorrhizae, put it on a plate, take each one of our cotton pads and just bloop, dip it right in there. And then when I go through here and add my seedlings to the cotton pads, I will be making sure to put them straight into the powder. And this is going to be sure that when the root first exposes itself, it is going to immediately bind with the inoculate. It is going to have beneficial trichoderma feeding the nutrients that are available directly into the seed right when it sprouts. And we're going to have a great start. All right, each one of our pads has been coated nice here with a little bit of inoculate powder. We just rubbed it down in there and then rubbed it into the pad. We are going to be using a clean pair of tweezers to remove each seed, place them into the pad, and then sandwich these together and give them a light mist on the top and bottom. I don't want them to be fully saturated, just a damp misting, light misting, yeah. If you are just doing 1 to 2 seeds, it's best to coat the seed in the Great White as opposed to dusting the entire pad. You only need a very small amount. From there, we are going to be taking the same solution that we had used to germinate the seeds in. And as we close these cotton pads up here, we will take a spray bottle and we will mist the cotton pads with the same solution that we had there. So we're just going to take this and we're going to lightly spray this off a few times, making it not soaking wet, slightly damp, before we add that into a Ziploc bag, and we're not keeping the Ziploc bag closed. I learned this from another grower online, and I've been using this method with cotton pads instead of paper towels since. If I can find that video, I'll link it because it was a phenomenal way for me to learn how to start my seedlings. Thank you. All right, now that we have our little sandwich of beans, be extremely careful when pulling the top pads off. They will stick to both sides pretty easily there. We'll make sure that they're both closed up nicely, and just a few mists on each side there. Oh geez, that stuck to my hand and I just dropped a few. Oh no, okay, yeah, be extremely careful. And then from here, we are going to take them and gently set them inside of this bag and give them a light misting. Keeping the bag open, I am not going to fully close this. We are going to store it in a dry, dark, warm place. And once the beans have been put in the bag, it is time to put them to sleep. Again, anywhere that is a cool or warm, dark, dry environment, we want to make sure that we keep it regulated. This is going to be a nice humidity dome. I don't want this fully saturated. I don't want anything molding out. Keeping it a little bit cracked open. The reason we use cotton pads is they have a little bit more air exchange than paper towels, but paper towels do work just fine. Once again, let's go ahead and put everything away, get cleaned up for the evening, the night. I started this way too late today. I am very tired, but we managed to get the beans put away. They will be in those bags for the next 12 to 24, 36, maybe even 48 hours. I've never grown this genetic. It is a test strain, so we will see how it does. From here, once you have the seed in between the cotton pads and it is soaked, we are going to put them into the small sandwich baggie and put this in a warm, dark environment. I put it in my grow tent underneath my grow table usually, or into a cabinet or a box in a warm environment. After 24 hours, this is what we should be looking at here. Let's go ahead and pull these seeds out and see if we're ready to move on to the next step. It's extremely important to be careful when pulling seeds out of these plastic bags. I've realized that the cotton pad will stick to the top of the plastic very often, and then my seeds will go rolling out. So I try to hold it down and pinch it before I pull all of this out. Let me get it. All right, I had to be careful sliding that out there. So if we open this up and expect it to stick to both sides of the cotton pad as well, after 24 hours, we should have some nice, healthy, long tap roots on here. These are beautiful, looking perfect. Most of these have germinated. The ones that haven't look like they have tails sprouting at least. So we'll transplant the ones that are ready to be transplanted. In the meantime, we are going to be taking a bucket of RO water. And in that RO water, you are going to be mixing 3 milliliters of CalMag, or 300 milliliter or ppms per gallon. And you are going to be mixing Clonex feeding solution at a rate of 5 milliliters per gallon. At the end of this solution should be coming out to around 500 ppms, and we're going to pH that down to 6.0. So 5.8 to 6.0 is perfect. This solution has already been pre-mixed. I made it with a live demonstration that I will be linking to this video from the stream that I had where I do all of this process live time. Once the solution has been mixed up to, again, 3 milliliters CalMag per gallon, 5 milliliters Clonex nutrient solution per gallon. We're sitting at just around 500 to 600 ppms after pHing. We'll go ahead and soak however many of these pellets we need. I have 20 seeds that I'm going to be doing this pheno hunt. Let's go ahead and get these soaking. Oh, wait, quick edit. So I'm gonna insert this before I actually start soaking these. It's important to take some of this water and put it into a spray bottle. This nutrient spray is going to be great for the seedlings. You can save as much extra of this water aside. We mix up 1 gallon because it's really hard to do anything less than that properly. They don't make 1/16 teaspoons. So yes, make sure to take a liter of this water and set it aside, put it in your spray bottle. This will be what you spray the seedlings with throughout the week as they get dry in these pellets. Before you put the pellets in here, otherwise it will clog your sprayer. I messed up. I'm going to have to make a separate solution for my nutrient solution as I water these throughout the week. Don't be like me. As the pea pellets soak here, we can get our clone seedling trays sanitized and wiped down, ready to be able to fill them up with all of those pellets. I started one the other day. We'll go ahead and get the rest of these filled, and I'll show you exactly how far deep I plant into them and how we prepare these before we start planting our seeds. And while those soak, let's check our total germination rate. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 8 on that pad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, All of them on this pad look like they've at least begun to split and show their tail. So, and we have one sitting on the top, so out of the 9 on that one, which makes sense because I have one seedling in this pellet from the live demonstration and one seedling in this pellet from the live demonstration. 18 out of 20. And the germination rate off of these is 3 have not, the rest have at least cracked their shell in 24 hours. And after a few minutes here, we can see these have finished soaking. They turn into nice fluffy marshmallows that are soft all the way through. No hard spots in the middle yet. We take these and we stuff them into our clone tray all the way down. We're not packing them down or anything, just making sure they're pushed to the bottom. And we will from here take our tweezers, and as long as these tap roots are, I've had some that have grown out to the size of my pinky before that I've gotten them transplanted, but this is a pretty general size. You're looking at a 1/4 inch. We're gonna go down just about that far into our peat pellet. I come down into each one of these and I make a nice hole in the middle, stab it, and let's go see. That's right about where I'm at. Long enough for the taproot to go in there, all the way to be buried down. You're talking about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Not very deep into the hole. And as soon as I get a hole made into each one of these, from there we are going to be taking the great white and sprouting just a tiny, tiny pinch, just a dust into each one of those holes right where the roots are going to be. And I actually don't like how sopping wet these peat cubes are, so before I put each one of them in, I give it a nice little squeeze just to get a little air back into that root zone. And after we have dusted each hole, we will take our tweezers and very carefully pick up each one of these seedlings, placing them taproot pointing downwards, and then cover the top of it up, and it'll just be a thin layer of material covering the top of that seedling by the time the taproot's touching the bottom. Everything will be nice. We want to make sure that we're not leaving an air pocket inside of there, so just pushing things down slowly without breaking the root off. And I'll get back to you as soon as we have all these dusted. Show you exactly how I drop one bean in the hole. All right, let's very carefully pick up one of our seeds here, making sure that we don't pick it up by the root. Perfect. Perfect. Go ahead and just drop her in. Let's make sure we can actually see that. We come over, we pick out our hole, make sure that we go taproot down, and gently place her in, head sticking up right there. And I'm just going to cover it in, try to pack as much soil around the root as I can and cover the top of it with just a tiny layer. And from here we will take a dome, make sure all the vents are fully closed, spray it off with a little bit of the nutrient solution that we had. And it's not a bad idea if you think you have air pockets in your seedlings to go through and spray the tops of those with a mist of water to allow that sediment to grab on to that root and really surround the seed. From there, a couple sprits in the top of your dome, and we're gonna cap this tray off, put it into our grow. These are the old mother plants that are gonna be chopped out and thrown out today. Those are the new mother plants in the back. Now that the seedlings have been fully started and we check on them in the second day, we will see one seedling has germinated. Oh, the second one is sprouted. Great progress. And we will be tracking these day by day to figure out how they're doing. For the first few days, we will be keeping them inside of a clone dome with the vents closed, making sure they maintain a high humidity. After each seed has germinated, we can take the dome off, keeping the room at about 50% humidity, 75 degrees, and we'll be checking on these each day throughout the week. They should be sitting in here for at least the next 7 days, so it will be a slightly slower week, but we're hoping everything will grow up happy, healthy, and strong. Thank you for joining me on the Growing Grams method for starting your seedlings. I believe that I have the fastest and strongest way to start your seedlings. If you think I'm wrong or you have a better method, please let me know. I'm always willing to grow, and I hope that we can grow together.